Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, guys, wherever you are. Friday, August 23rd. 2 minutes towards the US Cash Open. Piotr here is Light Forex Global YouTube channel, and we are going to make the US Cash Open market update for you. Before we do that, before we will start to watch the charts, risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind, trading on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. See the good education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. So, if it's an afternoon meeting, meaning that we are going to check first 5-minute trading range and we are going to watch Nasdaq. So let's make some preparation for the Nasdaq open. There you go. 20 seconds left. All right, we ready. What behind us, weaker than what market was expecting. PMI out from Europe, especially weaker French and German services. Then opposite into that, the UK flash services PMI above 60. I don't know how these guys are printing the numbers. Maybe they are only asking, because it's a survey, guys, so maybe they are only asking those who are in the office. So for them, it's probably good situation. Anyway, the US market is open. Dollar is back. Dollar is back in a quite good fashion. That's what we are going to discuss as well. Actually, we reacted over the course of Tokyo and European session. We reacted at some very interesting levels. That's something I discussed with you guys sometime, well, yesterday and day before, right? Some time ago. So let's start with the euro. And if you remember, on Wednesday post FOMC, we had this engulf, right? Then I've mentioned that we are about to close the gap, right? What happened yesterday post London fix? We've seen dollar sold off. Tokyo Europe stop count when it comes to what we've seen yesterday, and resume, right? Dollar is gaining the strength. So looks like, based on what we already discussed quite a few times, failure at the upside break, meaning that 117 could be in place, and at least we have to take some stops. Otherwise, if it's something bigger, and I think based on this action it might be something bigger, I'm going to explain in a second, 115, 114.50, if you want to double that range to the downside. Why I think it could be something bigger? Because if that would be only profit taking, we probably would see yesterday another falling day, today attempt to move lower and eventually lower shadow and higher towards the end of the week. And that's not going to work that way. Probably based on what we have right now, we might go down and try to make the lower close of the week. We might try to be at the lowest levels of this week. Of course, we do have US PMI within the next few minutes, and then London fix, and I would be careful, guys, when it comes to the London fix. I would watch London fix very closely. Anyway, if you are a dollar buyer, then you want to see anything higher towards 1830, 1840. So you want to see this over under and weekly open to be tested, right? So you want to see some stop count, maybe when it comes to the European high levels, right? Maybe as I mentioned, 1830, 1840. I don't think we are going to see, but maybe some kind of the manipulation around the London fix could bring us and push higher, and then something like this, and then towards the end of the week lower lower. So that's how I see the bears when it comes to the euro dollar, bulls when it comes to the euro dollar. Well, I think there is a little bit more space to the downside, so I wouldn't be in rush to trying to buy euro dollar right now. If we are going to see post London fix attack at 117, another attack and reversal, that on the smaller time frame, like 5 minutes, maybe, but that's gonna be late of the day, ahead of the weekend, and you don't wanna, with this weekly candle, you don't wanna stay long euro dollar over the weekend, right? That's my way of thinking. Let's get back to the Nasdaq. Let's have a look what we have here, as we are trying to expand the range. What it is right now, just 20. Another poor range. Not good, because from intraday perspective we are going to be forced to leave Nasdaq. But anyway, when I've been looking at the FX market and US dollar, I'm so glad, because looks like volatility is back, maybe because of the lower liquidity, but anyway, volatility is back, and it's the positive sign ahead of the end of the summer holiday, when all the guys are going to get back and start trading. All right, looks like it's gonna be very poor, but anyway, going back to what we have, it was reversal of the reversal yesterday. So when it comes to the closing the day, we saved that broken swing high, right? So it was retest and higher levels and new high, right? So one could argue we got back to normal yesterday with the new record high when it comes to the Nasdaq, right? For today, of course, the levels related to the Wednesday open as a support, and as you can see, that's what we are trying to hold on the blue line. So let's switch to the lower 30 minutes time frame, and I'm not talking about the intraday right now, because the range of the intraday is very poor, as we discussed and what we agree on, right? So what we're trying to hold with this pre-market pullback, it was this demand visible over here. So, well, from the buyer's perspective, trying to finish the business and trying to save the swing low, one of those two. I think this one from the cash market from yesterday gonna be much more important. So levels below 11,400, right? So it might be spike down, trying to clean the stops below 11,400, right? Invitation for some sellers, but based on this yesterday swing low, we might try to make the turnaround. So stop count, invitation for sellers, quick catch. That's how I see how the bulls may work. But if we are going to get the close below that 11,400 towards the end of the day, that's gonna be, in my opinion, negative on the weekly candle. We are going to have upper shadow. That's how I see the Nasdaq. So the sellers, in my opinion, are waiting for now. The conservative sellers are waiting for now. Cable. Last 4 days, and we know the new range. It's still tiny when it comes to the pound, but that's the new range. That's the new range. All right. To the upside, stop count above 32.20. Not sustainable break. We got back. Retest yesterday, today. Rejection again. To the downside, weekly open. Levels close to 30.50 and below psychological 130 level. I don't know, but if we are going to get back below weekly open, and if we are going, that's the weekly open, sorry guys, if we are going to close below the weekly open, that's gonna be significant development, and the levels we discussed quite a few times to the downside, 29.80 to 130 could be, right, could be targeted again. I'm still medium long term bearish pound. When it comes to the intraday trading, I think the thing, I think all is done already. All right, but when it comes to the sellers, again, 31.70, 80 in case of maybe pre-London fix rally, right? But if you are a buyer, if you like pound to the upside, right, I would watch the current development on a smaller time frame, right? Maybe, just maybe, I would try to find something interesting. Now, how I would approach eventually long side, 1-to-1. So probably we might hit that swing low from yesterday to hit the stops and work with this lower shadow over here, 1 and 2, right? But you know, I do prefer selling rallies when it comes to the pound. But if we might see some kind of the recovery or attempt to rally during the second part of the US session, only if we are going to take the stops and see the reversal. And the reversal is gonna be visible on a smaller time frame. All right, guys? With that being said, I'm looking to sell rallies on the euro dollar and the cable. Neutral, staying neutral when it comes to intraday trading on the Nasdaq. Looking for 11,400 to be broken to the downside, to renew the selling pressure, on the indices, especially on this tech one, right? Guys, weekend is coming. Don't be trapped. You wanna stay with the most liquid pairs, euro dollar, cable, and eventually indices if you wanna trade this afternoon. Don't be trapped, guys. See you around. It was my pleasure to make the update for you. Have a great weekend and see you around, guys. Take care. Goodbye.